long story, you see. That's why I like to sit. Have a seat if you want.
Okay. I'll have a seat
Now,
too.
right. Now this is one of the shops. The close ran from the high street right down there. All down the right-hand side, this side, there were shops and businesses. This is one of them. This was a wine shop. And then there's a long wine cellar entry. Right, the story is this. Right. Its name was Alexander King's Close. As Alexander King was one of the owners or landlords that lived in the close. Mary King, of course, was his daughter. And they all lived together quite happily. It's a dirty street. You know where Gardaloo is? We just chucked it out the window. And everybody in the close here started to die off with the plague, one by one. As they died off, they were just carried from the houses here up to the top of the close, where the high street is, and dumped on a cart and taken away to the plague pits. So that's when you get the funny feeling.
I got funny feeling, all right.
However,
very bad feeling.
one by one, they all died off until there was nobody left. Mary King, her father, all the neighbours. Close said the plague had decimated them all. Now, as they went up there, they were dumped on a cart and taken away to the plague pits. And the plague pits were round Edinburgh. I don't think you'll know any of them. Boroughmuir, Holyrood Park, Leith Links, the grounds of Astley Onsley Hospital, and two others besides, which I know. I don't know if you, but they were digging holes or something for drainage behind Holyrood Palace. I found it.
Oh, yes, they found some just a month ago.
That's right.
They found that's where the skeletons.
That's a plague pit.
That's a plague pit. I can share that with all of you. I have the clippings and all on all of that and the photographs that were taken there when they found that. Oh, that's right down at the very bottom of the Royal Mile.
It's in the grounds of the Holyrood Palace. However, everybody down here had vanished. There was even bodies left in the houses because there was nobody left to take them away. The plague raged through the town until, at long last, itself, as they call it, disappeared. And the people came back into town and into the houses down here. But they didn't stay very long, because this close and the houses are haunted. Mary King walks up and down here to this day, and she has been seen, because we know what she looks like. The lady, or a girl, just like you say, and she's got a long coat on and a bonnet in her head. You know what a bonnet is? That's one. I get, are you American?
Yes, sir.
I get quite amusement, some of them, in English too. A bonnet, they don't know what a bonnet is.
Oh, I know what a bonnet is.
However, the close being haunted, everybody cleared out. Nobody would live in a haunted house or a haunted close. And today, there still are.
They're still haunted.
Yes. There are people like you that see them. In fact, I've never seen them, but there are people that see these ghosts floating about. Mary King's been seen up here, and she's been seen down at the bottom. So everybody cleared out. Nobody would live in a haunted house or a haunted close. It's empty. Closed it up. Mary King's Close got the name of Bloody Mary's Close. Nobody would live in it. Lay empty. Lay empty for years and years. Nobody would come near it. Now here's a point. There was no city chambers up there.
No.
It was an old dirty Edinburgh tenement. Sorry if I talked to her. Is it?
That's fine, yes.
I mean, instead of talking.
Yep, that's fine.
There's an old dirty Edinburgh tenement up there, such as you have never seen, but I have, because as a wee boy I lived in town. I was born here.
Oh.
You see?
So you know what they're like.
Oh, I used to work in the Edinburgh City Architects Department. House, the closest haunted now. Where was I?
About the dusty old tenement right above us.
Oh yes, a dusty old tenement up there. And 1750 that went on fire, and it burned out. It was a ruin. 1753. The builders came along. And what they did was rather unique. They took the High Street level and did that. 100 yards down the road is Anchor Close. There's Mary King's Close. And they just did that. And built on the top.
The city council.
And Chambers is on the top. All down here, this floor, and there's a floor above, and above that is a car park. Car park is hollow. This is what's underneath it. And the city chambers. It was built by the businessmen of the town for them. The Chamber of Commerce, if you like. It was called the Royal Exchange. There was a borough court, rooms for their meetings, printing works, and customs and excise offices. Oh, it was a busy place up there, a businessman's place. All these arches along the front, in each arch was a shop, except the middle for getting through. You follow me?
Yes.
The shop.
Now, that was in the 1700s?
1753, and the built on the top.
Where the three arches are. It was the only the main arch could you come through.
Yes, the middle arch you could come through.
Right.
The rest of them were shops. And behind it was, well, now this is cheap. Now, in 18 sold it to the town council, and they moved in. Today, it's called the city chambers. But previous, it was owned by the merchants that had it. The war started.
Oh, yes.
They came down here and they cleaned it out, put lights in, number 2 and number 3. And this is the finest air raid shelter in it.
I was just going to say, this must be a great air raid shelter.
Oh, but dear, it was never used. Hardly ever used. Do you know that?
No.
Edinburgh was one of the lucky cities.
Yeah, it wasn't like London.
Oh, London got belted.
Yeah.
I mean, I was overseas myself and saw Berlin. Oh, what a mess.
Yeah, I married 50 years.
Oh, but
My husband was in it too.
Edinburgh was lucky. It got 1 or 2 bombs in the docks and so on. We were very lucky. So when I came home, Edinburgh was just the same. Anyway, the war finished, time passed, and this place lay empty. And afterwards, tours, so as I retired and the tours started. Last year, 1994, that car park up there was a hell of a mess. It was tarmacadammed and all that. So they dug it all up and put these stone crosses in and flowers and all the rest of it. And when they did that, they sealed off all upstairs.
You hear that? You could hear that sound? Could you hear the sound coming from the hallway?
No.
Somebody else coming. Can it be?
No.
What are you hearing?
Like the sound of people, of more than one person together walking by, and, you know, like heavy clothing rubbing against each other, that type of thing. I could hear.
I'm going home.
And I could hear that, and I wondered, you looked, Frank, so I thought you heard the same thing.
No, I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Right, that's the wee story. When I was going to walk around, I'll show you all the places. A tailor shop.
A tailor.
And his name's Preston. Preston the tailor.
Preston the tailor.
Preston
He had
Hill.
one window, no fire, no nothing.
What did they do with this during the
Well, that was put there for storing things during the war, gowns and what.
Oh, I see, okay.
There was a wooden floor in here once.
A wooden floor. Alright.
During the war. So this was the tailor shop.
Okay.
Over here now, this old place here. Now, down there, this is an old-fashioned bakehouse. Very old-fashioned, stone plates down there. The big hole, that's his oven, and a chimney and a fire. Hold on a minute.
Is it all right to go down there?
Uh-huh. Watch that big step.
Yeah, watch it. You should feel the vibrations in here, guys.
Now these plates there, that's his bakehouse. 300 years ago, the man that lived or worked in here was called Care. Care the baker.
Care?
Care. Now these plates are rather modern.
Why is it sickening to me? This
You
is
know what underfloor heating is?
so sickening. It's-
These plates were heated by a rather unique system. There's a hole in the wall there somewhere, and the hot air travelled underneath these plates and kept them warm. Because these plates, if you tap them, they're hollow.
How did the plague affect them, sir? How did, it feels like somebody is like squeezing your insides all together, actually squeezing the life right out of you. How did they die? What is the symptoms of the...
Now come up a wee bit. That's the story of the children's dance, Ring-a-Ring-a-Roses.
Yeah, pockets full of posies.
Yes, well, Ring-a-Ring-a-Roses was the pock marks in their faces. They came out in splotches, and it spread all over their body. And that's where the story Ring-a-Ring-a-Roses came about.
Yeah, and like it feels like in your insides, like they're just being all crushed together. It's an awful feeling here.
And that's the old,
What is that? Now that was also associated with Castle Rising. Oh, right. Yeah, that was also associated with that. That's right.
you notice I've got tables working for a seat.
Yes, that's fine.
Now, see this wee place here? It's nice and white and clean, because it was a store for many years. Cutlery store, dishes, the city canteen on the stair, and baths, tin baths of gravy boats and so on. It was a store. 300 years ago, now some of my confederates call this the butcher's shop, but I disagree. This was a sawmaker's shop.
Sawmaker.
A sawmaker. I can't imagine, can you, bits of beef hanging up there,
No.
but you can't imagine a saw hanging up there.
Yes.
Get an idea?
Yes. No,
Anyway.
they're too high for beef.
Yes. I say it's a sawmaker's, because I happen to know the sawmaker's name. Chesney. C-H-E-S-N-E-Y, Chesney. And his house is just a few yards down the road there. Chesney. There you are. There's one window and one door. Now above here is the blacksmith.
The blacksmith.
Blacksmith. Blacksmith above here.
Well, how did the horses get in?
Ah, but the horses didn't get in. The man came out. The horse stood out there. There used to be stairs out there. And the man came out and the horse stood. Now behind me, you saw that big wine cellar that's up there.
Yes.
Behind this wall is another place like it, but it's blocked in.
But is that wall original?
Yes.
That's original wall.
To get into this place down in here, I go, but in there, there's no lights, no nothing. Skeleton or two.
Yeah.
That's what I tell all these funny folk that come to see him. They'll believe it too. Now, yeah. So there you have the blacksmith, the sawmaker,
The wine cellar
wine shop, and the bakery,
and the tailor.
and the tailor.
Now, where did they live?
Up in the Tenements.
They lived in the tenements. In other words, there were no dwelling places down.
No, no dwelling places.
They were, this was all the commercial area.
Yes, that's precisely.
All the commercial
5 o'clock.
area where they would shop, Frank, and,
5 o'clock at night, they went to close up and go home.
right. And I suppose they brought their children here, and the families would come. It wasn't like a man just coming to his place of business, and they were congregated here. It wasn't like being at home. And that's how it probably spread to such, and of course the filth. No sanitation.
Oh,
No
no.
sanitation.
Oh, there it's out there.
Yeah.
That was more or less an open sewer.
They're just like the moats around the castle.
Right.
Yeah.
That place that we came along the narrow passage, that was part of a big, huge tenement.
The big tenement that was above here where all of them
They all
lived.
live there.
So everybody was connected with
Oh,
this.
yeah. Oh, so everybody spread around.
There's the original handle. If you walk up there today, you go into City Jeepers. 300 years ago, you go up there, it's an old stair, you turn to the left. You go up a bit further to the next landing, and there it's there. See it?
Oh, yes, there's another stair.
That's this stair.
Oh,
Turn
my.
round. You follow me?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, they cut everything away.
Now, this was a big arch right
That's
here.
an
Here's,
arch, right.
here's the big, you see the parts of the arch still remaining?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my. And that's original. And what about that rail?
That's original.
That's an original rail. Oh, wow. My God.
Now, when they rebuilt everything, you see, there's the new stairs up.
Here's another arch. Everything was arches
And that strength.
for strength.
There's no doors. Edinburgh is built in arch. You know the bridges where the wives and kids of the soldiers and the castle lived. That's what it started as.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And when the English came up, they just everybody went into the castle, drew the drawbridge up and said, "Pooh," to you.
They still are.
Oh, aye.
They
So-
still are.
Right, now,
Good see you, guys. Okay. This is ideal for high heels. Ideal walking conditions.
if you stand over there,
Yes.
let the money with it. Now, this bit here, this is the best part. From this doorway, which didn't exist, but the arch
The
did,
arch did, yes.
down to that arch. Now, the arch existed, but the brickwork, the doorway, the pipes, there was nothing there. Absolutely nothing, just that arch. And the rebuilding, of course, they put the door. On the right, there's an old iron handle. Still. Now, that doorway, as I said, and the brick, all that wasn't there. You could walk right down to where the station is, on Norwalk. Run right down. Down there, you'll see on the left, there's a door, an old door in the window, the house. It's no longer there. That
But it was.
Yes, that's where it was. See that gap there?
Yes.
That's another old stair that used to be there, so people lived up there.
Oh, I see.
On the right here is a small window. See it? A very small window there.
Yes.
The front door of that house is just beyond that pipe.
Now, I have to ask you something that would be important to me. These people had pets. They had dogs. And they had horses. Were the animals affected by this plague?
No,
They were not.
no,
So they didn't die in
they
this.
didn't die. Only humans.
Only humans died during this plague.
Anyway, now today, That door is there to keep you out for a purpose. The close from that door don't like you. It's not going to put you out that door. You'll have to jump. Because Coburn Street is 2 flights down out there.
Wow.
If you go up down Coburn Street,
That's a bad exit.
that door is 2 flights up in the back walls of the chambers. And here is the principle. There's the door and the old close. They took that away and rebuilt it all. Right. 1800s, they came down and they excavated and made Coburn Street. It was Coburn Street, it didn't exist. And that door stayed up in the air and Coburn Street was away down. Marks of a knocker. And there is a peephole with a slide. And you know who lived in here?
No.
Chesney and a sawmaker.
Oh, that's where the sawmaker lived.
So how old is that door?
Oh, it's
Over 300.
over 300.
100.
Because there were people in here during the plague and they all cleared out.
Oh.
Now I'm going to open this door, and I don't usually do, but seeing you're different, I'm going to open this door. All right.
You have no idea what my daughter would give to be here right now. This is something she always wanted to come down here.
I'll see the film.
Let's see it now. Yes.
There's nobody up there, is there?
No.
No.
Hold that a minute, please, if you can.
Yes. Be careful. Oh, look at the little shop. Oh my God.
See the door? See the lid at the bottom?
Yes.
Well, don't, just a minute. Don't come in here, it's dangerous. See like fella, see?
Yeah, I can see where the ceiling is
Now.
coming in.
There's the loo. Well, that, you've got a light thing on that.
No, I don't.
There's the loo. Now that's just been a bucket. And I threw it out here.
Oh, I know. I know what they did. Oh. When you think how horrible times like that were.
Oh, you got places like that in France. I've used them.
No, they do have them in
There you
Europe.
go.
They don't have good sanitary
All right.
conditions. In Italy, too. In Italy, too, sir.
They say that history repeats itself, doesn't it?
Yes.
I was in the cavalry regiment during the war. Black Douglas's horses.
Yes. Yeah,
Right.
they say that history does repeat itself.
Now, follow me.
See, they call it AIDS today. The death is still the same. Yeah.
Stand closer into the light for me, underneath the
He
light
wants-
more.
Rob,
All right.
Now, here, there's 6 floors under the main door.
6 floors down we are.
And it's all solid stone. Have you been in Edinbugrh Castle?
Yes, sir.
This is the very same. Vaulted roofs for strength. Walls 2-3 feet thick.
How many?
2-3 feet
2 or
thick.
3 feet thick.
That's the place. Now it reaches from there, Mary King's Close. Today, you and I can walk right through here, right underneath everything, like a mine. And we'll come out 100 yards down the road in Anchor Close. All underneath. It's like a mine. Bits and pieces off, places here, places there. It's like a mine. Today, that is. 300 years ago, you couldn't do that. Because down here, from there, 100 yards down, there's 5 closes. Allen's Close, Craig's Close, Pearson's Close, Stewart's Close, and Old Post Office Close. They've all gone. They're not filled in. just buried and dumped. There's 5, 6 closes actually under the city chambers. Edinburgh has a lot of hidden closes. You know the church down there?
Mm-hmm.
There's one under there. You can go up and this morning you can go up and see it.
It's wonderful. Wonderful. But talk about an air raid shelter. This is the best.
This, bits and pieces, stonework. What to do with it? And the modern world, they recycled it. You know the Castle Esplanade?
Yeah, the
It's
Esplanade.
underneath there.
Oh, the Castle Esplanade.
That's the grounding of the Castle Esplanade. Before, there's the castle up there. There's the road. There used to be just a road up there. Grass Market down there, Princess Gardens down there. And they used it and extended all that road and made a great big parade ground for the military. And that's where it came from, up there. Marvellous, isn't it?
Yeah, it
They
is
used-
marvelous. Crafty people, weren't they?
You know the mound? What we call the mound?
Yes.
From Prince Street up to the High Street.
Yes,
That's a rubbish dump.
that's a rubbish dump.
It was. When they built New Edinburgh from Princess Street onwards, all the old New Town, what they call the New Town, this up here's the old town, the wall from the
Oh, Second World War.
See, it's number 8, Cambridge Shelter.
Oh, I see. They use it as
Number
storage.
9's in there.
Okay. Now, do we go that way?
You go over, you do.
All right. Yes.
We're on the other side.
Oh.
It's Craig's Close. One of the missing closes. And that's the... that was I don't know exactly what this place. Ah, that's a description.
Yeah, that's what the rabbit warrens are, you know. They build a little on top but big underneath.
Oh.
That's where they live.
Oh.
Yes, that's
You know
what
that,
it is.
that
I
door, the cellar had a lighter door way at the end.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
It's there.
Oh, yeah.
that's it?
Oh, yeah.
Now this wee bit here, from that brown door down there, to this wall, the Pearson's Close. And up above that stair, turn and go straight. See?
Yes.
Stenciled.
Oh my God.
And it's paint.
Wallpaper almost.
Oh, that's all stenciled.
Wow.
You put your finger on one of these wee bumps, you'll feel a bit of paint.
Really? Oh, yes, that's all painted and stenciled. I wonder what was here. Where was the toy maker?
The what? Toy maker? Well, never mind saying about toy makers.
Should have been a toy maker for the children.
This family here painted the wall, did no wallpaper, and they painted the wall.
But this was a dwelling.
Yes, this is a house. Now in here, there's three rooms, 3 fireplaces. There's one of them.
That door, man.
Okay.
Three rooms, 3 fireplaces. There's one down there. Up here, see that black square?
My God.
In here.
No, here's another doorway. Another doorway, another arch.
That's the front door. And that is the back door.
Wow, look what's above us. Ooh,
There's the chimney.
there's the chimney.
Yeah. And there's a window.
Oh. So they had light. Now, when was that bricked up, sir?
When it come during the war, there used to be windows there, there used to be a door here. Outside that door is Craig's Close. What's left of it. That's it there.
None of this is visible from outside.
No.
It's under shops now. All right.
Chambers was built on the top, and there were people in this house up to 1753. And the powers that blew threw them all out to build on the top.
Now, were all of the people killed, or were some of the people able to leave?
Oh yes, there was people here, because the plague had long passed. See, and there was people in here.
Again.
Yes. They weren't affected by the ghosts of Mary King's Close. These people were in here.
Wow, that is a real dangerous situation there.
If you come over here a wee bit, I'll show you something. You come down here and point it up there. That beam there, see, oh, you won't get it that side.
Right from here, if you will.
See these marks?
Oh, hand-hewn. Hand-hewn beam.
Yes. And that's
Oh, my. It's all
how old that is. That's one of that, and that one is the original beams that were built, God knows when. Haunted room. This room is haunted. It's haunted by two things. It's haunted by the voice of a crying boy. A wee sweep. You know, sweeps went up chimneys. He went up this chimney, he got stuck, and they dug him out of that hole. Now that can be true.
Is that a dungeon?
No, that's ground level. Now the other thing that haunts this wee room is a ghost. The ghost of a little girl. You not seen her yet? She's sitting on a stool in that corner.
I wouldn't doubt it.
She's been seen quite often, a ghost. She's been seen in colour. Got a green dress, dark hair and ringlets. And a shawl around her shoulders. Seen last August. A lady such as you. She saw her. And she was a Japanese medium.
Oh, yes.
She came down here with a few friends who was visiting the Lord Provost. They weren't tourists, they were these business people. But her name, which is Dana, and that's the second time I've heard that name.
Donna.
Dana, D-A-N-A, Dana. The wee girl got in touch with the medium, and she asked her for a doll and sweets. Hence the doll. The lady fished in her handbag and she had a doll for a souvenir and she left it there. There's the wee doll.
And then
And there's the two sweets.
the two sweets. And then look at all the stuffed toys.
That is misguided people coming down here and left all these sort of things here on there. Round here. There's nothing to do with this story.
Have they ever been moved?
Never been moved. So I put them in there out the way. Must have seen something, she must have spoken to her, and there's the door. This big place here, there's the wine shop. Right? This big cellar here is a wine cellar. Up there, there's two rings, see them?
Yes.
That's for lifting barrels for ropes.
What was it for, sir?
Lifting barrels. 12 girls spent the night down here 2-3 years ago. During the night in here, This place became alive, and they said it was like sitting in a pub just down the road. All the noises of a busy pub were in here.
How would you get permission to do that today?
Oh, you have to apply up the stair.
But you can get,
There was a party asked permission to stay in here all night. Right, they stayed down here all night. When we came down the next day, this place was in shambles. There's beer bottles, six,
Oh, no,
peas and everything.
oh, we wouldn't be doing that.
Their job's humping now.
Okay.
No got a pad, shoulder pad.
Yeah, I've got a little bit to go on.
But wait. This big place is haunted by the landlady of this place. She's been seen against that wall. You want to?
Oh, see if that's what that is.
Make it out.
That's the gravestone ghost that it talks about. Gravestone
There's the
ghost.
hair,
Yes.
that's our top knot.
Yes, the heart,
There's the
the
face,
face,
there's the neck,
and the bosom.
Yeah.
and bare shoulders.
Yes, yes,
See, it's all there.
yeah. And they weren't big people.
You can, if you look at it
That's
now,
great.
without
That's
light,
like
you can
gravestone
still see
ghost. Frank. Just
Ghost.
Nice.
yes. You can see the shoulders and everything.
It's all there.
Very.
And further on, there's two more cellars. And there's 4 rows of cellars like this. And above that is the car park.
6 floors
Was
down.
this
we
all
are.
open? Could you see sky
This
from
part
here?
is open to the sky.
You could see sky.
Oh, you could see sky up there.
Yes, oh yes. Now, these cellars up there,
Look at that.
I'll
Mirrors
show
and
you something.
ghosts.
See that mark?
Yep.
Is a mark?
Oh, yeah. Triangle.
That's a mason's mark.
Wow.
That's the man that made that, marked it. The man that made that stone in the quarry marked it with his sin. So in the future he would know that he made that stone.
Wow, it's still there.
Robert, is this sign original? This Mary King's Close?
No.
Sounds like.
Yeah, there's a cellar behind that. Up above here is the car park, or underneath it. There's one cellar here,
Look
and
at
there's
the
one
pulley.
behind that window.
Look at the old pulley.
There,
The old pulley.
there's the old pulley there.
Yes. That's what their signs look like. Oh, goodness.
A nice darn tank for the heating system.
Wow.
Why do you little square holes?
My doors.
Yeah,
Doors,
probably
yeah.
the doors.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
oh my,
Yeah.
it's here.
It's your head here. Oof.
Yeah, that's right.
I used to work here.
We're back to the real world. Back to the real world.
That was excellent.
Wonderful.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Oh, that was great.
See Americans pull something.
All underneath here.
See that horse?
Yeah.
That's a horse with a coo's ears.
Whose ears?
The cow's here.
Cow. Yeah.
The story behind it.
1693.
Came in and she was in the ladies' toilets, and as she came out of the cubicle she was in, the cubicle next to her, the toilet flashed and the door opened, and there was nobody there. and she left shortly after that. She was a
Wasn't
bit
there a
nervous.
story about the chef here pushed down the stairs and you broke a leg?
No,